That morning, the forest woke in confusion. Dawn was late. Not just late, missing. The sky, usually brushed with peach and gold, hung pale and empty, like someone had forgotten to color it in. The trees leaned forward as if listening. The birds blinked, waiting for their cue to sing. Even the wind stalled, unsure if it should begin the day without sunlight's permission. And that was when the rumor began. A glow was seen. Moving. Low to the ground. Small. Quick. Like a runaway spark. Some said it was a piece of dawn trying to find its way home. Others whispered, more nervously, that a creature had stolen it. But I saw her. I was the first. A little fox with fur the color of warm ember. Eyes bright enough to hold starlight. And between her teeth, something impossible. A shard of light, trembling like a captured heartbeat. It pulsed through her paws, casting soft gold across the forest floor as she ran. Her name was Auri. She stopped when she sensed me watching, ears lifted, tail still. For a moment, we stared at each other. The light she carried hummed, like it wanted to speak. Then she bolted. Vanishing between the roots and shadows, leaving behind only a thin trail of gold dust, proof that dawn had not disappeared on its own. It had been taken. And the fox who stole it was running not out of malice, but out of fear. A fear I did not understand yet. A fear that would soon reshape every creature in Lumina Forest. Auri didn't mean to steal Dawn. That truth revealed itself the same evening, when I found her curled inside an abandoned burrow, trembling as if winter had taken residence beneath her fur. The shard of dawn lay beside her, dim now, but still breathing a soft warmth into the cold earth. Her chest rose unevenly. Every exhale sounded like it hurt. Auri, I whispered, though I knew she would not answer. Foxes rarely trust anyone who witnesses their fear. But she lifted her head. Slowly. Her eyes glowed, not with mischief, but with something far more fragile, pleading, like someone begging the world not to give up on them yet. When she let me close, I saw it. Right at the center of her chest, beneath the fur, a frost-white patch shaped like a crack. It pulsed faintly, but every time the light beside her dimmed, that crack grew colder, spreading jagged threads toward her throat. That wasn't fur. It was a curse. And the shard of dawn? It wasn't her trophy. It was her medicine. She nudged it weakly with her nose, and as the warm light brushed her chest, the crack receded, just barely. Only enough to keep her breathing. Only enough to stop her from freezing into stone. That was when it hit me. Auri hadn't taken Dawn to cause chaos. She had taken it to stay alive. But her survival had a cost. Outside the burrow, the forest was already unraveling, colors fading, sounds thinning, life slowing. Auri was fighting her curse. But the world was paying the price. And soon, the forest would come looking for the thief, with no interest in understanding why she stole. By the third morning, the forest was quieter than ever. Not the soft, peaceful quiet of dawn, but the uneasy hush of something broken. Leaves trembled without wind. Shadows lingered longer than they should. And the birds had stopped singing. I followed Auri through the underbrush, her paws leaving a faint trail of gold where light kissed the earth. She moved with the careful grace of a creature who knew the forest was unraveling because of her, though her eyes betrayed a longing for something she could not name, perhaps forgiveness, or perhaps simply warmth. We came to the clearing where the sparrows used to gather. Their nests hung empty, and when I strained to hear their voices, nothing answered. The forest felt hollow, as if sound itself had fled. I bent close to the ground, hoping for a whisper. But only silence came. Auri tilted her head, ears pricking at some distant, invisible melody. Then she lifted the shard of dawn higher, letting it spill its warmth into the clearing. The light brushed over the birds' nests, over the bare branches, over the grass, but still, no sound returned. Finally, a single sparrow hopped onto a branch, feathers gray and lifeless. It opened its beak, and a faint, broken note quivered, almost a song, almost alive. The shard pulsed, and for a heartbeat, I imagined the forest breathing again. But the song faded before it could grow. Auri's heart shivered, and I realized, the forest was feeding on the shard. Every bird that lost its song, every tree that dulled, every river that slowed, it was all tethered to the little fox who carried the dawn. She hadn't just stolen light. She had stolen the very essence of life itself, one fragile heartbeat at a time. The path to understanding is often lined with silence. Auri led me deeper into the forest, past groves where the trees bowed in sorrow, past streams that no longer laughed, until we reached a hollow high in an ancient oak. There, perched on a twisted branch, eyes like molten silver, sat Elder Vey, the owl who knew yesterday. He blinked slowly, his gaze stretching back into time as if he could see not just what had happened, but what might have been. The dawn did not vanish, he said, his voice a low echo of wind through hollow bark. It was taken. And the one who took it, she is both thief and healer. Auri stiffened. The shard of dawn trembled in her paws. I could feel the weight of every forest creature pressing on her tiny frame. Elder Vey tilted his head, peering through her, through me, through the layers of fear that clung to her heart. Child of ember and frost, he continued, if you wish to mend the world, you must return what is not yours to the valley of waking bells. Only there can dawn rise freely again. But beware, the path is not empty. Darkness watches, and it covets what you hold. Auri lowered her gaze, a silent shiver passing through her. For the first time, I saw the depth of her burden. The shard of light wasn't just survival, it was responsibility. A responsibility that no young fox should ever bear alone. Elder Vey spread his wings, a faint ripple of ancient feathers brushing the air. I can guide you, he said, but the choice, the courage, must come from within you. Auri nudged the shard gently, and it glowed brighter. Somewhere deep inside, a heartbeat began to hum, fragile, trembling, but defiant. The forest was waiting, and so was she. Because to fix the dawn, she would have to step into the path no creature had walked before. The river had stopped. Not frozen. Not shallow. Simply, still. Water hung in the air like a mirror caught mid-fall, reflecting the gray sky above and the trembling trees on its banks. Stones that once sang under rushing currents were silent. Fish drifted motionless, as if even life had forgotten how to move. Auri stepped carefully onto the first stone, her paws brushing faint gold across the surface. She paused, ears flattened, eyes scanning the endless expanse of stagnant water. The shard of dawn she carried pulsed nervously, whispering warmth that seemed too small against the river's stubborn paws. I followed her, heart tight. Elder Vey's warning echoed, every step forward will cost more than you think. She lifted the shard high. Its light brushed the water. The river shivered, tiny ripples skimming its mirrored surface, but then fell still again. Auri pressed her nose to the shard, closing her eyes, as if listening to a song only she could hear. Slowly, deliberately, she stepped into the middle of the river. The shard's glow expanded, pooling like molten gold. For a heartbeat, the river remained frozen. Then, a whisper, almost imperceptible, floated upstream. A tiny flicker of movement. Stones sang again. Water slid over roots. Fish twitched. But the effort took her toll. Auri shivered violently, her chest growing colder, frost creeping along her fur. She stumbled, and I caught her just before she fell. The shard dimmed, warning that the river's life had been borrowed at the cost of hers. Yet she held it steady, refusing to let go. The river flowed again. And the little fox who carried dawn realized something terrifying. Restoring life wasn't just about giving. Sometimes, it was about sacrificing the warmth inside yourself, piece by fragile piece. The journey to the Valley of Waking Bells had only just begun. Not all footsteps announced themselves. Auri sensed it before I did, the hush of the forest bending toward a shadow, a ripple through the underbrush that spoke of patience and intent. She stiffened, ears pricked, tail low. Behind her, the shard of dawn flickered nervously, casting trembling light across the moss and roots. From the darkened trees emerged a figure. Not large, but sleek, with fur the color of storm clouds and eyes that glimmered like embers trapped in ice. Every step it took was careful, quiet, deliberate. A wolf. "Luron," whispered Elder Vey from the shadows, his wings folding tight. "He follows for a reason. Not curiosity, not mischief. He wants what you hold." Auri's paws hesitated. The shard pulsed in reply, warm and insistent, as if begging her not to run, yet warning her not to stay. Luron circled, silent as wind, yet his presence pressed against the forest like a tide, heavy and inescapable. He stopped, tilting his head, studying her. "Little fox," his voice was velvet over steel, "you carry more than light. You carry power. I do not want your warmth. I want its echo, the strength that trails behind it." Auri's ears twitched, her heart thumping like a drumbeat of fear. The shard flared, bathing the clearing in gold. Luron's eyes glowed red in response, and I saw the hunger there, not for life, not for dawn, but for control. Elder Vey's voice, calm but sharp, cut through the tension. "Courage, little fox. Darkness often waits quietly, but your heart can outshine it, if you trust it." Auri drew herself up, every tremor in her small body a statement. She would not give in, not yet. The forest held its breath. Even the shadows leaned closer, watching the quiet battle between a fox's fragile courage and a wolf's patient hunger. The path forward was growing darker. But Auri had learned something essential. Light alone was not enough, she had to wield it. The valley of waking bells had fallen silent. No gentle chime greeted the dawn. No echo rippled through the stone arches. Even the morning mist lay heavy and motionless, as though the air itself had forgotten how to breathe. Auri paused at the edge, paws trembling on the cold, dew-soaked grass. The shard of dawn in her mouth pulsed weakly, struggling against the weight of the valley sleep. And then I saw him. Luron. The wolf of quiet footsteps, eyes burning with a crimson hunger that sought to consume the shard's warmth. He moved slowly, stalking the fox, circling, silent as a shadow cast by the last light. "Little fox," he whispered, "you carry a fragment that belongs to more than the sun. Give it to me, and I will awaken the valley, my way." Auri's ears flattened. The shard quivered, casting golden sparks that scattered across the valley floor. The bells, dormant for countless nights, shivered in response, as if they remembered their purpose but lacked the will to strike. She stood tall, small as she was, and lifted her gaze to meet Luron's. "This light," she whispered, voice firm though trembling, "is not yours to bend. I will return it where it belongs." The wolf snarled softly, eyes narrowing. Darkness surged behind him, a tide pressing against the edges of the valley. The shard flared, bathing Auri in warmth, illuminating the ancient stones. For a heartbeat, the air shimmered, and I swear I heard a faint echo, like a bell remembering its song. But the battle had only begun. Auri realized then, the valley itself was testing her courage. Not for dawn alone, but for the choice she would make when darkness came to claim what she held dear. And in that frozen silence, the fox understood, she must face the wolf, the shadows, and the weight of her own heart, before dawn could ever rise again. Dawn hung trembling on the horizon, fragile as a glass heart. Auri stood in the valley of waking bells, paws dusted with golden light, eyes fixed on the broken chimes that should have awakened the sun. Behind her, Luron crouched, coiled like a shadow ready to strike. The shard of dawn pulsed faintly in her mouth, warm yet unbearably heavy, each beat echoing the choice she must make. "Little fox," Luron hissed, "give it to me. I can make the world rise, my way." His eyes glimmered with hunger and longing, a reflection of the darkness he had carried for years. Auri lowered her head. The shard flared once, as if whispering encouragement. She remembered every bird that had lost its song, every tree that had dulled, every river that had stopped flowing. The warmth she had stolen to survive had cost the forest everything else. With a trembling breath, she placed the shard upon the central bell. Light spread, delicate and golden, weaving through the arches and spilling into the valley. The bells trembled and then rang, soft at first, then with growing certainty. The sun stirred, nudged awake by the echo of her sacrifice. Luron staggered, eyes wide with disbelief as the shard's power dissipated into the dawn. The wolf howled, not with rage, but awe. Even he felt the truth, light was not meant to be owned. Auri shivered, cold creeping through her small body, yet her heart hummed with something stronger, hope, courage, and the quiet pride of giving back what she had never truly held. The forest breathed again. Birds sang. Rivers flowed. Flowers opened. And Auri, the fox who had stolen a piece of dawn, understood at last, true light is never taken. It is nurtured, returned, and shared. And in that soft, golden morning, even darkness found its place.